Let's take a ride on my 2018 Goldwing Tour DCT and tell some stories. A little motorcycle, a little of my experience as a network TV cameraman for many years. First, let me put down the garage door. And I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm in Plano, Texas. P-L-A-N-O. Not P-L-A-I-N-O-L-D. It's just Plano, Texas. Take a look around. Just a slow loop of my street. And there you are. Let's put it in drive and go find some breakfast. This is Stories from my Goldwing. We're going to tell stories. I could write a book. I could write 2 or 3 books from my experiences covering news for network television. The network news and magazine shows, Today Show, Nightly News, 2020, 60 Minutes. I worked as a freelance cameraman for more than 35 years. And at the Branch Davidian standoff in 1993, we were manning a crossroads across the field from the Branch Davidian compound. We were there for 2 months. And in the field of network TV news and freelancing in it, I was lucky to be a part of a small group of shooters in North Texas, trusted by the networks. So when a big story break where the networks needed extra help, they would call one of us. So depending on the day, depends on what network I was working for that day. And so it would happen, since we often would go out of our bureau area to other states and what have you. I mean, I could be going to bed one night and told to get on a plane to do a live shot in Chicago for the Today Show. That kind of life where you just have no life, you know? Standing around the media compound that we had across the field from the Branch Davidian complex in 1993, I was thinking about how many of the people there I had seen in other locations, whether it was the school shooting in Tennessee or a plane crash in Detroit. I would often see the same people. And so I decided to one day write a book, which still hasn't happened, but I can still tell the stories. But I made the observation that, you know, we must belong to the most exclusive club in the world. I mean, we don't announce meetings for time or place in advance, yet we all show up. So I decided that if I ever do write a book about all my adventures in network TV news, it would be called The Most Exclusive Club. The Branch Davidian standoff lasted 2 months. I was there the entire time. If you watch the building burn on any CBS-fed source, any CBS-fed media around the world, you were watching my camera as you watched the Branch Davidian compound burn. I'll never forget that day. But the Branch Davidian story deserves its own its own video. So maybe the next video or one video in the near future, I will tell my story about my experience at the Branch Davidian standoff. But my experience in network news has made me an eyewitness to history. Not only the Branch Davidian standoff, I was in the Mexico City second earthquake. Major one hit in 1985, and I was rushed there in a charter jet, and just getting there is a whole story by itself. But we finished shooting one day, and we're eating dinner at a hotel. The whole city was not leveled. It was very much damaged, but there was still parts of the city standing and in business. So we had a hotel room. And I had pushed the up button on the elevator when the second earthquake hit. This was not an aftershock. This was a 7.3 earthquake. And you'll never forget, if you stand at an intersection in the middle of a city with tall buildings all around you, and the ground is moving 3 feet each way laterally, and the buildings are leaning and crunching above you, you'll never forget that. Other major events, airplane crashes, the Detroit crash that on takeoff where only a 5-year-old girl survived. I've also met many famous people, so many I can hardly remember them all. I traveled with the elder Bush in 2 political campaigns, and I traveled with Bill Clinton in the '92 campaign. Stories to tell, and they're going to be road stories. No kiss and tell, I'm sorry to say, but the adventure is in the road stories. And that's what I'm going to do on the moto vlogs that I'm going to start producing. A little Goldwing, because I love this bike. I love to get on it, talk to the camera, and tell stories. We'll have a little bit of motorcycle business in my videos, and get on to telling a story before the video is over. So I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. You can reach it directly with a easy to remember URL. I reserved the name Texas 2 Lane to point directly to my YouTube channel. Texas 2 TWO Lane, Texas2Lane.com. So on the next ride, I'll see you then.